Alright guys, so planks are a little bit controversial, to be completely honest with you guys. One is that most people master them really quickly and then it just becomes a waste of time, sort of. But, you know, the reason why we would do planks is that, generally speaking, our core musculature, it mostly works isometrically through most of our day, right? So it's not, we do a lot of bending forward and twisting and whatnot, but usually not under load, and you know we need to be more stabilized in this range of motion. And generally speaking, I don't think I've said this anywhere before, but when we do an isometric, we get strength within 15 degrees of that position. So really, we're stabilizing from here to here, right? So through that range of motion, and the same is going to be true a little bit on the sides, right? Because we are getting a little bit of oblique going on in there, especially if we start doing modifications to the plank. But everything with the plank is going to be basically the same thing as we said with other movements, right? Where I'm engaging that shoulder rolling back and down. When I start a plank, I actually want to start in kind of this position when I'm on the ground. So you see my elbow is lower, closer to my hip than my shoulder, right? If I start here and I go up, it's going to end up in front of me. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So if I'm down on the ground like this, right, my elbows are back, I come up, my elbows are straight up and down. If I'm starting here, right, and I've got my elbows directly below my shoulders, and I come up, I'm going to end up with my elbows pointed forward. So if it feels like your arms and your feet want to go like that, that means that you are basically creating this position with your body. Between those 2 points, right? But what you really want is that. So you got a vertical post in the front, and then you got the angle towards the back. If you feel compression in your low back here, that means your abs are not engaged and you're hanging off your spinal cord, basically. So tucking your tail like a scared dog, pushing your belly button in, drawing this in is going to actually help you. Now, when we talk about the shoulders, guys, and this is true of push-ups, this is definitely true of planks, is people tend to hang off your shoulders like this. I don't know how well you guys can see that there, but we end up in this position where my scapula is pulling away from my body. I don't want that, guys. If anything, I want my spinal cord kind of pushing through a little bit. And the reason why I want that is, for one, it's going to give me a little bit more of a serratus workout, the muscles that go from here to here, but it also just makes sure that I'm not hanging on my shoulder girdle. Remember, guys, the bones that are in here, right, your rib cage is steady, but all the other bones that are in here are floating, more so than anywhere else in your body. The closest thing is going to be your pelvis, but your pelvis is one big block, and then you just have the femur in there, right? But here I've got the clavicles going in there, the scapula is floating around, and then you got the humerus. So nothing's actually really an anchor. Nothing's a really strong point there. So when I'm here, I'm engaged. I tuck my tailbone like a scared dog. I'm squeezing my glutes really tight, and I'm relaxing my head, and I'm focusing on my breathing, guys. Okay? And that's pretty much all there is to just a standard plank. There are millions of variations, but that's a good place for you guys to start.